The room was silent, except for the sound of a man's deep, steady breathing. Anthony Scaramucci sat in the corner of the dimly lit studio, staring at the floor. Across from him, Christie leaned back in his chair, his eyes fixed on the ceiling. Both men had lived lives that were anything but ordinary, filled with triumphs, humiliations, betrayals, and comebacks. And yet, in this quiet moment, they were just two men reflecting on the same question we all eventually face: what have I learned, and what lessons are worth passing on? Anthony broke the silence first. You know, Chris, life has this way of humbling you at the exact moment you think you're untouchable. That's when the real lessons begin. Christie chuckled softly, nodding. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Power, approval, applause, it all vanishes in an instant. What's left is who you are when nobody's clapping. Their conversation wasn't scripted. It wasn't polished. It was raw, and it carried the weight of men who had lived through storms that could crush anyone unprepared. For Anthony, the lesson was humility. He had risen to unimaginable heights in politics and business, only to face public humiliation when his career in the White House ended as quickly as it began. For Christie, the lesson was resilience. He had been praised as a bold, straight-talking leader, only to be dragged down by scandal and betrayal. But instead of bitterness, what poured out of them was honesty. And honesty has a way of touching hearts. Anthony told the story of the day he lost almost everything: his reputation, his job, and the respect of people who had once cheered his success. I remember standing in front of the mirror, asking myself if I was just a punchline now. Was this it? Was this all I'd be remembered for? And then I realized life isn't about the applause. It's about the people who still love you when the lights are off. My wife, my kids. They didn't care about titles. They cared about whether I was present, whether I was real. That was my wake-up call. Christie leaned forward, his voice heavy with emotion. I know that feeling. The night the scandal broke, I sat in my living room, alone, with the TV blasting my name in the worst way possible. I had two choices: to let that shame define me, or to fight to reclaim my story. And fighting didn't mean proving the world wrong, it meant proving to myself that I still had worth beyond politics. That's when I started speaking openly, even when it was uncomfortable. People can smell fake a mile away, but they'll forgive honesty even when it hurts. The conversation deepened, turning into something more than political war stories. It became a reflection on what truly matters in life. They spoke about the danger of pride, the way it builds walls around you until you're blind to your own mistakes. They spoke about failure, not as an end, but as the teacher no one asks for yet everyone needs. And they spoke about forgiveness, especially forgiving 𝗖𝗺.